History is often told in a simple way. Wars, armies, empires rising and falling. But what if the greatest changes in human history did not come from war at all? What if some of the biggest transformations in history happened silently, without swords, without major battles, and without anyone really noticing at the time? In most history books, there is a common idea that civilizations and religions only spread through power and conquest. That change only happens when one side defeats another. But when we look deeper into real history, especially across different regions of the world, we find that this idea is not always true. One of the most powerful forces that shaped the ancient world was not war, but trade. Trade routes were like invisible roads connecting the world long before modern transportation existed. Across the Indian Ocean, one of the oldest and most important trade networks in human history was formed. This network connected Arabia, East Africa, India, and Southeast Asia in a continuous movement of ships, goods, and people. But it was not just about goods like spices, silk, or gold. It was also about ideas, languages, and ways of life slowly moving between different civilizations. This was not a route of war, but a route of connection and interaction. Over time, merchant ships began reaching very distant regions of Southeast Asia, including the islands of what is now Indonesia. But the most interesting part of this story is not just that contact happened. It is how it happened. There was no large military force entering these lands. There was no empire sending armies to control the region. There was no forced expansion in the beginning. The first arrivals were simply traders. They arrived at coastal ports, built small trade connections, exchanged goods, and continued their journeys. They were part of a peaceful movement of commerce that depended entirely on trust between strangers. But something unexpected began to happen. These traders were noticed by the local populations, not because of their wealth, and not because of their goods, but because of their behavior. In a world where trade was often filled with cheating, pressure, and inequality, these traders acted differently. They were honest in buying and selling. They did not deceive people. They did not take advantage of anyone. And they treated everyone with respect. This behavior stood out more than anything else. At first, it was just observation. These people are different. Then it turned into curiosity. Why are they different? Then curiosity turned into interaction. People began to spend more time with them, not just in trade, but in daily life. Over time, trust was built, and through repeated contact, ideas began to spread naturally, not through force, but through influence and example. In some regions, a major turning point happened when local rulers adopted this religion. And when a ruler changed, the direction of society often changed with him. So the spread expanded from ports to cities, from cities to villages, and from villages into inland regions. But still, there were no major organized wars behind this spread. It continued through trade, trust, behavior, and daily interaction. These simple human elements proved to be more powerful than force in many cases. Over centuries, this region became one of the largest centers of this religion in the world. Today, Indonesia is the largest Muslim-majority country by population. And this raises an important question. Do all major changes in history come from force? Or is there another kind of influence based on human behavior itself? History is often not written by swords or battles, but by the way people live and interact every day. And sometimes that silent influence can shape the world far more than any war. Finally, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me continue creating content.
50 dirhams for the lot, a fair price.
Nonsense.